Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are revisiting the world of Halo as we take a look at their smaller action figure line. I purchased this yesterday at my local Target, and that was July 23rd, 2022. The first thing you'll notice is that the world of Halo figures, they're actually using a new package design, which I kind of dig. It's a simple card back with a bubble on top of it. It's not as, I don't know, kind of like as complicated as the previous packaging for these smaller figures, where the entire bubble was covered up with all that cardboard. This is a lot easier to open. It's much more straight to the point. My only reservation is that I'm not too keen on the card art. As you can see, we have the Spartan standing in front of the Forerunner ring, and you can see the ring as it ascends into the sky in the background. Just because the color scheme, I think it's not as loud as the previous package design. You know, when you came down the aisle, that kind of like gray, green, and yellow combination really caught your eye. This blue is kind of a cool color. It's not as eye-catching, but I do appreciate the design a little bit more in terms of the way it's packaged with the simple bubble on the card. So we have Series 6. It seems like we should be deeper in by now. It seems like 6 isn't, I don't know. We have Spartan Anubis with Cinder Shot. And what's kind of odd is that I think all the figures in this wave have this. They have Master Chief in the corner. For some reason, it'd make more sense if they had a render of Spartan Anubis here, but I don't think that might be feasible for Jazwares. On the side, UNSC, and then on the back, the World of Halo scale, Series 6 individual figures. These are the other figures in the line. There's Master Chief from Halo 5 Guardians with Assault Rifle. I have this figure. Be on the lookout for a review on this. We have Atriox with Chainbreaker. We have Spartan Anubis. We have the Skirmisher with the Mangler. UNSC Marine with Assault Rifle. And Spartan Buck. All these look great. I really want Atriox and the Skirmisher. I'm curious about the Marine. I want to see for myself if this is a repaint or reissue of the previous Marine figure, or if this is a new sculpt altogether. I am excited that we're getting Master Chief from Halo 5 Guardians, because fingers crossed, I'm hoping that means we'll get Spartan Locke in the near future. Alright, so let's get started. Take Spartan Anubis out of the package. First impressions of the figure while it's still in the tray. It looks great. I love the shade of green. It's almost kind of like a coral green. The detailing looks awesome. Everything looks nice about this. The Cinder Shot has kind of a light silver paint application on the top right there. I don't remember if the previous weapons that we got in the world of Halo had paint application or if they were just bare plastic. Now, for some reason, I want to say it was just, all the previous weapons were just one single color of plastic, but I might be wrong. So here's the Cinder Shot, a nice shade of silver on the top and on the front, beneath the I think muzzle. And we have Spartan Anubis. Let's get a look at the Spartan armor up close. Much like the other figures in this line, the sculpting is kind of a mixed bag. There's some figures where the sculpting is really sharp and crisp, and then there's others where it's a little bit on the soft side. This one's a little bit of both. There's some parts of her armor where the definition and the sculpting is really, really clean and sharp. But then when you get to like certain other areas like the forearms, it gets kind of a little bit soft, so the definition isn't as clear or as well defined as I'd like. But it's a really well done figure. Let me adjust my lighting here so we can get her lit properly. Too much light. Let me see if I can diffuse that a little. All right, there we go. Wonderful detailing on the Spartan armor. It's really nice to get more Spartan characters where the armor is, it's a little bit different than what we get with Master Chief. Really well done. Excellent look. And then the Cinder Shot, as you can see with like most of the figures in the line, there's a socket on her back, and then there's a peg on the Cinder Shot, so you can store the weapon onto the body of the character, like that. So that's nice. One thing this figure is missing that I just noticed is that it's missing a display stand. I think you're still paying the same price for this. No, I take it back. I think this figure might actually cost a little bit more than previously. I want to say I think previously these figures were maybe like sub $10, like maybe $9.99. There's a part of me, I think this figure might have costed me maybe, I think $11.94 at my local Target. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's what I paid for it. So I might be wrong on this, but I think you are seeing a slight increase on these figures. I mean, you're seeing that across the board with everything in general in the world right now. Especially since, the pandemic, the war, and inflation, stuff is just costing a lot more. But yeah, you're not getting a display stand with this figure, which is kind of unfortunate. But if you've been collecting this line since the beginning, I'm assuming that you already have more than enough stands, for all these action figures, especially if you bought some of the smaller play sets like the checkpoints. But yeah, excellent looking body armor, excellent looking figure. In terms of articulation, the head rotates, doesn't look down, doesn't really look up. The arms rotate at the socket of the shoulder and they go out. Elbow bend, elbow swivel. Articulated wrists. They fold and they rotate, which is nice. There's a cut mid-torso, allowing for swivel. Wait, I take it back. Is there a cut mid-torso or is that the waist? Oh yeah, there's a cut mid-torso, so it can swivel below the chest line, and then there's a swivel at the waist, so you have dual movement. The legs could kick up about that much. They kick out. Knee bend, double jointed knee. There's a thigh cut right there, cleverly hidden, and it allows for thigh swivel and articulated ankles. So for a smaller 4-inch scale action figure, you're getting a lot of articulation. If you're like me, if you grew up during the 80s and 90s and you had this like older style of G.I. Joe figures, or like if you grew up with like the Kenner Star Wars or the Hasbro Star Wars figures, or like, Kenner Power of the Force, I think these figures, it's a little bit of nostalgia, especially coming in at this scale. And the extra articulation is a big plus. I say this all the time. I love the World of Halo action figures. I know there's the Spartan collection, it's the larger scaled 6-inch figures. But for me, my bread and butter is these smaller figures. They're fun to army build. They're a little bit more affordable, and you get vehicles and play sets, and you also get aliens. The Spartan collection right now is just limited to the Spartan armors, and there's no vehicles, and there's no aliens. Whereas the smaller line has, all that cool fun stuff. So this is a great figure, and if you're curious, here's some of the other figures we've gotten previously, just for comparison. Here's good old Master Chief next to Anubis. In the fiction, Master Chief stands at about 7 feet tall, so there is a height difference between these two characters. Anubis is a little bit shorter in stature. The detailing, it's slightly on the same level as Master Chief. On Master Chief, the battle scarring and weathering is a little bit more prominent. You can see the scratches and battle wear on the armor. There's some on Anubis, but it's kind of faint. You can kind of see a little bit of I'm not even sure if that's even there, if I'm just imagining it. There might not be any battle scarring on this figure. Yeah, this figure might be bare of battle scarring. Here's some of the other Spartans we've gotten previously also. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the unique armors. Especially, I can't remember which one this is. I lost track. But yeah, if you're a big fan of all the different armors, it's almost like Stormtroopers with Star Wars. You know, there's some people that are huge marks for Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers, and they want to get all the different regiments, they want to get all the different ranks, and all the different body armors and paint schemes. I think that's one of the fun things about the Halo line, is that, you know, I think for like every like Master Chief figure we get, you know, they give us like at least 2 different variants on the Spartans. So, you know, there's a good amount of figures besides Master Chief to build out your armies. All great figures. Alright, so if I had to rate Anubis on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know, solid 8 to 8.5. It's a unique armor. It's, you know, if you're looking to army builds, it's another figure to add on. And the quality is the same as previous Jazwares figures. I do think the paint, though, could be a little bit better. For example, the finish on Master Chief's visor, it's a really nice shade of gold. Whereas on here, the quality of paint, it's a little drab. And if you look carefully, the paint application doesn't encompass the entire visor. So it's just a little bit sloppier than usual. But still a great figure nonetheless. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.